Today, I'm talking about a significant issue affecting many newcomers looking to rent in Toronto. And that topic is newcomers having to pay large sums of money upfront to landlords in order for them to secure a home to rent. We'll look into how this demand is impacting newcomers and other renters, and also look at why and how landlords are able to use this practice. Hi there and welcome. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sonia Ramgobin, realtor with RE/MAX Royal Properties servicing the Durham Region and GTA. So recently I came across this CBC News article highlighting that some newcomers in Toronto are being asked to pay up to 12 months of rent upfront to secure housing. This article goes on to say that many newcomers are having their rental applications rejected over and over again, leaving them no option but to live in hotels or Airbnbs that end up costing them a ton of money. The reason why these newcomers are having their rental applications rejected is because many of them do not have established credit scores, they don't have references, or they don't have a stable job at the time they arrive in the country. So a growing number of these newcomers end up paying thousands of dollars up front to persuade landlords to let them rent. CBC News actually spoke with some of these newcomers, and they said that they felt that this was the only way that they could secure a home. Many of you might be asking, is this even legal for landlords to request such a large amount of money upfront? Well, technically, the answer is no. According to the Ontario Residential Tenancy Act, landlords can only legally request for 2 months of rent upfront, which is typically known as your first and your last month's rent. But landlords can accept more money if it's offered by the tenant. So this overall situation is a tough one for both newcomers and landlords, and let me explain why. For newcomers, it takes time to establish credit, find a job, and have references in a new country, especially if you're coming here without knowing anyone, meaning you don't have any supports like friends or family. Having to hand over your savings in order to secure a home is a very challenging situation to be in and can seem very unfair. To add to this, there are many situations where people with low credit scores are also feeling the need to offer more money up front because they too are having difficulty securing a home to rent. So whether you're a newcomer with no documents or a renter with documents but low credit, having to prove yourself to a landlord can be really challenging. On the other hand, from the perspective of a landlord, not having any documentation like a credit report, employment letter, pay stubs, and references makes it hard for landlords to get to know the tenant's financial background to help them determine if the tenant would be able to pay rent. To add to this, nowadays, in some situations, even if landlords do receive all these documents to review, they sometimes still end up with tenants not paying rent. Let me explain further. In this article, a paralegal was interviewed and they stated that landlords are trying to protect themselves because many of them have been lied to. More tenants lately have been submitting fake credit scores or fake employment documents in order to get a home to rent. Once these tenants are in the home, they end up not paying rent, which leaves the landlord with accumulated debt and a stressful and lengthy process of trying to get tenants evicted. So when a tenant offers to pay additional months of rent up front, it gives many landlords some peace of mind that their rent will be paid. Overall, no matter which way you look at the situation, it's challenging for both sides. You're either trying to prove yourself or protect yourself. Paying 6 months or even 12 months of rent upfront can be a massive financial strain. Many newcomers or renters with low credit score may not have the savings to offer such a large payment upfront, which can then lead to financial stress and or nowhere to live. And from the other perspective, landlords want to ensure that tenants can pay rent consistently. By receiving up to a year's rent upfront, the risk for non-payment is lowered for that period of time. While it provides security for landlords, it does place a significant burden on newcomers, making it harder for them to establish themselves in a new city. So this article highlights a lot of areas in the rental market that need improvement. It's obvious that more support is needed for both renters and landlords. However, being aware of what's happening can hopefully give both sides a better perspective and understanding of where each other is coming from. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or comments, and I'll see you in the next video.